This is the next episode of my XR Weekly News. We are in week 25, 2026. Yeah, and I have the weather here is freaking insane. We in the next days we have 38 degrees Celsius in Germany. How on earth is that possible? Are we in the desert or what? I will not stand that. This is 20 degrees over that what I can handle. Crazy. So I have to tell you a story. So last week, as you know, I was at the Flight Sim Expo in St. Paul's next to Minneapolis. And everything went fine. The flight to Minneapolis was fine. And the exhibition was fine. And the flight back, freaking insane. So I had a stop at Washington, D.C. So I went from Minneapolis to Washington, D.C. And then there was a flight to Frankfurt. And like it was 9 p.m. in the evening, and everybody waited at the gate for the flight from Washington, D.C. to Frankfurt. And then, like, the flight was already delayed 1 hour, and then it was 10 p.m., then 11 p.m., then midnight, and like every 15 minutes it was delayed 1 hour earlier. And then when we had like 4 a.m., they said, yeah, there might be a chance that the flight is cancelled. Well, you don't say. That was, by the way, United Airlines. And yeah, this can happen, of course. But then the next flight was full, and the next flight that I could take was 24 hours later. And I mean, you know, I don't have time for that shit. And like the people got so freaking angry. I mean, I was like, for the situation, I was pretty calm because there's no way you cannot change that. But there were people that were so angry, they just want to fight with the guys from United Airlines, and then the police had to come. Oh my God, that was crazy. And then I thought, okay, yeah, 24 hours, it's okay. They will just book a hotel for me and then everything is fine. But they didn't. They did absolutely nothing. And I said, what should I do now? Should I sleep in the airport for 24 hours or what the heck? Because there was also not really a hotel available because there was the birthday of Trump and some other celebration, and then the football championship, world championship. What the heck? There was not really a hotel available. And I thought they could manage something, but they just said, oh, it's your problem. It's your freaking problem. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. And then I said, what can you just give me something to eat or whatever? And then they brought like tiny snacks and a bottle of water, and that was it. And then I said, wait, 24 hours? Yeah. And then they wanted to give me like $15 voucher for the airport, and then the next sandwich that they sold was already more expensive than $15. Then I said, so guys, listen to me. I made the German style. I was then really angry with them because I've never seen that before. In Germany, when we have this problem, we get a hotel, we get refunds, we get vouchers, whatever. But freaking United Airlines completely sucks. They are so bad. That's not the first experience that I had with them. So normally I go with German Lufthansa. They are so freaking much better. And then I told them, guys, listen to me. You will not give me $15 and then let me sleep on the floor here. What the fuck? Yeah, and then I was really angry with them, and I told them I want a refund, I want that, and I want at least that I can eat for free here. Yeah, because it's not my fault. I paid and I need to go back, I need to work and things. And then they said, yeah, okay, we give you more vouchers. Then they gave me more vouchers, and then I could at least sleep somewhere, but at least eat somewhere. But I could never sleep somewhere. They didn't even give us like a blanket or anything, nothing. Yeah, so we all had to sleep on the floor for 24 hours, or at least stay there for 24 hours. That was crazy. That was a disaster. And like my neck is still hurting, like, and when the flight back, when I was at home, then the whole time, of course I couldn't sleep. I was awake for 50 hours. Like, you can believe me that was, I've never seen that before. I was so angry, and other people were even much more angry. As I said, they called the police and so on, or the police came and then they had to calm them down. And like, I mean, of course, this can happen. Weather conditions were bad, but then the support of the airline was nothing. Nothing. How on earth is that possible? Yeah, like, I mean, I love the States. Yeah, I love people there. I love everything, but the airlines suck. We must be honest. The United States Airlines suck. and this is one thing that we have much better in Germany right here. Oh my God. Yeah. Whatever, guys. That was my experience, and I was so angry. And then the next thing was when I finally got the flight back, and then I only had my hand luggage. I didn't have a big luggage and so on, and because for me it's faster than I have to claim baggage. I don't want to do that. But then they said, oh no, the flight is full with the baggage. You have to put your baggage, in the storage room of the plane. That they ripped it away from me. They put a tag on that, and there was all my stuff in there, like my laptop, my cameras, all the expensive freaking shit. And I thought, what the heck? I would never put that in because they throw it somewhere, like you know that how it is on the airport. And I was so angry because there was a lot of space, like in the lockers, in the, how is that called, the things over the head, yeah, the lockers over the head. And I said, what are you doing with me? And they said, we don't care, you have to do that. Yeah. And I told them, if something is destroyed from my stuff, I will destroy you. And then they thought, calm down, blah blah blah. It was, I wanted to kill them, really. Holy moly, what a crazy shit. Yeah. Oh my God, that was my experience with United Airlines. Don't fly with them. Oh my God. So, yeah, as I said, weather is freaking hot here. And but everything about XR, hardware, games, releases and sales. Let's have some fun with the weekly news and let's go. Voodoo.de. Okay guys, the Upload VR showcase was there and there were a lot of announced games, I think 33 and updates and so on. So let's go through it quickly. So we have Guardians Planetfall. This is an online co-op shooter, science fiction, 4-player squads, galactic war against mechs and aliens. MetaQuest and Steam VR, early access in late 2026. Then we have a Bootstrap Island update. This is easier to survive and so on. It's available now for Steam VR. Then we have Board of the Future is a hoverboard simulator. Comes for MetaQuest later this year. Then we have Soul Protocol. This is a co-op roguelite in space for Steam VR. Early access is in September 2026. Then there's an update, a multiplayer update for Salmon Man for MetaQuest and Steam VR. Comes in July. Then we have Kaba, or Saba, I don't know. It's a exploration horror discovery adventure. And it comes from MetaQuest, Steam VR, and PlayStation VR 2. There's already a demo. Then The Magician VR, The Cursed Wand. It's a magic action game where we fight against monsters and so on. For MetaQuest in September 2026. Puzzles of the World is a virtual puzzle game. Relaxing and so on. There comes the version 1 on July 23rd, 2026 for MetaQuest. Then Lane Split is a motorcycle driving simulator. Comes for Steam VR on June 23rd, 2026. Detective VR. I showed that already on my channel. It's a narrative detective thriller game. And it comes for Steam VR and PlayStation VR 2 in September 9th, 2026. Then Heroes Together VR, a co-op roguelite game, comes from MetaQuest 3. Early access is in September 2026. Then we have Pedal Rebel VR, arcade fitness racing game. Comes for MetaQuest and Steam VR in early access on October 5th, 2026. And then we have a Brush Hammer. This is a mixed reality sandbox. Comes from MetaQuest. And then we have Fly on RC. It's a flight simulator party game. Comes in summer 2026 for MetaQuest. Then Theremin. This is a mixed reality music experience. Comes with a hand tracking update on July 1st, 2026 for MetaQuest. Then we have Cards of Destiny. It's a VR tabletop puzzler that comes from MetaQuest and Steam VR early access August 28, 2026. Then Disembodied, it's a mixed reality puzzle platformer, comes on October 15, 2026 for MetaQuest. Then a new update for Walkabout Mini Golf, the Distraction Pack. It's based on the Homestar Runner series. Comes on June 25th, 2026 for MetaQuest, Steam VR and PlayStation VR 2. And then we have Fantails Game Night. It's a mixed reality party game from MetaQuest. It's already out. Co-op update. Then Hauntify, I showed that on my channel at home, a nuclear bunker. I showed that, it's crazy. And we get a multiplayer update in 2027 for MetaQuest. Then Color a Cube, this is a relaxing voxel paint by numbers game, is already out for MetaQuest and Pico. Then Project Neos is a science fiction thriller, comes to PC VR. We have to escape from a spaceship. Then Sugar Madness, fast-paced first-person shooter, is available now for MetaQuest. And then The Obsessive Shadow Chapter 2. This is a survival horror game, and we get it for MetaQuest and Steam VR and PlayStation VR 2 in late 2026. And then there's an update for Cave Crave with a Thai cave. Yeah, it comes in July 2026 for Quest, Steam VR and PlayStation VR 2. Then Jetpack Clankers, multiplayer arcade shooter. These are chaotic matches and so on. Is already out on early access. I think for... They didn't say the platform. I think it's Quest. And then Poly Truck. It's a truck driving simulator for MetaQuest with no date. Voxel Playground is a physics sandbox where we can create buildings, destroy and fight and so on. Comes for PC VR, they say soon. Already Dead is a retro survival horror in the 90s styles. Comes for PlayStation VR 2 in fall 2026. Then Hyperlane Highway is a hoverboat roguelite. Comes for MetaQuest and Steam VR in Q4 2026. And then we have Interlocked Puzzle Island. This is a cozy 3D puzzle game. Is available now for MetaQuest and comes soon to Steam VR. Then Dark Trip gets an update, Compartment of Souls. It's already released on Quest and Steam VR. Yeah, it's criminal cases and so on. Then we have Bomb the Hill. It's a downhill skateboarding game. And this is available on Quest already and will come in late summer 2026 for Steam VR. And then we have Rustmore. This is a science fiction horror FPS. They say it's inspired by Half-Life Alyx and Dead Space. And this will come to Steam VR with no date. Yeah, guys, what's your favorite game from this? There's a lot. There's some cool games. My favorite is the the Hauntify mixed reality update. This is, even in single player, it's crazy, and in multiplayer, it's gonna be insane. We will see. So write it in the comments. What's your favorite announced game? And unfortunately, bad news. Mighty Eyes, the team between Wanderer, they said they cancelled everything what Wanderer belongs. So the ongoing support for Wanderer and Fragments of Fate is gone. And also they cancelled completely Wanderer 2. And this is a bad news because I really love those games. It's really nice adventure, action and so on. And yeah, the reason is that the VR market is struggling right now. Like we know that already, right? And now they have the same problem, really bad. And I can only hope that this is going better in the future again. So while different VR developers shut down their studios and so on, Apple is still here and doing a lot of crazy updates for the Apple Vision Pro. It's a lot. And now we will get the VisionOS 2.7 update. That's a really huge update. For example, the first one is we get the Siri AI. So it's the same that I showed you with the Galaxy XR and Android XR. You can just talk to Gemini and then the headset reacts on what it's currently seeing. That's absolutely amazing. And the cool thing is that Apple worked together with Google, so they stopped developing their own AI and they use Google Gemini for their Apple devices, which is, in my opinion, it's a great thing. Because why should every company put billions of dollars into developing their own AI when there's already an existing perfect AI? So in my opinion, Google Gemini is the best AI on the market. And now Apple is also using that. They call it Siri AI, but it's a Gemini. And this is a really good thing. I really love that those companies that normally are competitors work together here. I mean, Apple pays a lot to Google, but still it's great. And now the Apple Vision Pro can also do that. And then we have different things like this panorama environments. If you record the panoramas, then we have higher frequency object tracking. So if you have real objects, it can be tracked more precise. And then we have infrared trackers, so you can track objects. For example, this wheel here, racing wheel, and so on, steering wheel. And then we have a new environment, Torsmörk from Iceland. Then we have unfoveated screen recording for better recording without pixels and things. And then we have Make 3D Objects Preview API. That's more for developers creating 3D objects and so on. And then we have a new control center look. I mean, the user interface of the Apple Vision Pro is like really perfect. I absolutely love it. Other developers should definitely check out what Apple is doing and then copy it. I'm looking to Meta because the Meta user interface, sorry, but it sucks so bad. Like they change it like every 3 months and you have no idea where something is. And this new navigator is freaking shit. I absolutely hate it. I don't even still understand how that really works. And yeah. And Apple is doing that much better. Then we have a Mac device hub. We have faster Wi-Fi initialization, curved windows. Then we have a small accessory widgets here. You can put that on your desk and so on. For example, the calendar. Then we have web environments in Safari. This is really cool. Reminds me of the Bloomberg horror experience on Meta Quest. So the web page transforms your environment. And then we have gaze expanded notification. So we have a message, you look at it and then it opens that. Auto subtitles for videos, vehicle motion cues. So if you accelerate your vehicle, you see there a small hint. And then eye-controlled power wheelchairs. This is crazy. So if you're sitting in a wheelchair and your wheelchair supports connecting to devices, and then you can control your wheelchair with a gaze. That's freaking insane. Look at this. Bzzz. Wow. And then major Reality Kit upgrades, that's more for developers, physical space lighting and so on. And then we have native Gaussian splatting rendering with full resolution here. Looks amazing. Real-time clothes simulation. That's wow, for avatars and so on. And then audio upgrades and so on. So Apple is doing a really crazy things here with the new VisionOS 2.7 update. I didn't get it yet on my Apple Vision Pro, but perhaps we will have a look at this as soon as it's available. Yeah, and then we have Steam NextFest update. It goes from now until June 22nd. This is my birthday, by the way. That fits. And so you have different PC VR demos that you can try. There's a lot of things. I will put, as always, all the stuff that I tell here, I will put the links in the description. And there's also this article from Upload VR. And then you have all the links here. For example, you can play a demo from by ExoShock and so on. a lot of things. It's for free, so just try it out. Everything is PC VR only. Yeah, and look at this. I reported recently about the Snap specs, and they will be released in fall 2026 for $2,200. Holy moly. And then you wonder, why on earth should I buy it? I can just buy the Meta Ray-Ban display for only $800. But there's a huge difference. The Meta Ray-Ban display only has one display in the right eye, and it's pretty small. And the Snap specs, they have full augmented reality on both eyes, so you can see real 3D objects in your vision, in your real vision, and that's a brutal difference. And this is absolutely amazing. However, it's pretty heavy. Yeah, it's 133 grams compared to the Meta Ray-Ban displays is half of that only. And we also only have a 51 degrees field of view, which is pretty small. The Meta Orion will have 70, and it's also lighter. But yeah, the Meta Orion is not there. It's only a prototype, so we will see. I also wonder about the battery life of this. We will see. But it will be available in US, UK, and France. And wow, this is gonna be really interesting. This is I would say it's a cinema glasses or smart glasses, XR glasses, however you want to call it. And it's the Xreal Aura, and this will ship this fall. The price will be something under $1,500. So I guess $1,499. I don't know. And the huge difference between the older Xreal headset is that we now have a tethered puck where Android XR runs. So you don't need to connect it to your phone. You have an own operating system, Android XR, and that's really nice. We also have a really big field of view of 70 degrees, which is really huge for those kind of glasses. And yeah, the Xreal Aura is the second device that supports Android XR after the Samsung Galaxy XR. And that means we can run all the Android XR apps on these glasses, which is amazing, right? It will only weigh 95 grams, which is really light, and I'm really looking forward to that. I really hope that we will be able to, or that I will be able to try it somewhere and show it to you. I will do whatever it's possible to get it. Okay guys, weekly survey. By the way, this week there's no new weekly survey because I have to find some ideas. I don't have an idea every week, yeah. So I will also count on you guys. So if you want to see a nice survey on the channel that you're interested in, just write it in the comments below, and that would be great, yeah. So we can do it like this, because you should also be involved, of course. However, by the way, last week I asked you, do you want to see more long-form VR gameplay on my channel? And most people on my German channel, most people, 43% said yes, regardless of the platform. And here most people say PC VR only. But also a lot of people say regardless of the platform. Interesting, most people don't say Quest only. That's interesting. So obviously most people are also interested in PC VR, which is good. Thank you guys. And yeah, so also many people wrote in the comments that also on my German channel, they say if the game is good, if there's a good game, then do it a long form, and if it's a bad game or not the best game, just do a shorts or so. And this is what I already doing. Yeah. So what I'm doing is, if there's a really good game what I really like, I do a long form video, and if it's a standard game, a game that is okayish, then I do a shorts. And if the game completely sucks, I don't show it at all, because there are millions of games released on every platform, and we need to be honest, really honest. 95% of the VR games released are completely garbage. Yeah, because there's like an indie developer that developed that in 50 minutes. At least it looks like that, and I don't want to show that anymore. This is bullshit. Like the 1000th copy of Gorilla Tag or whatever, I will never ever show that on my channel. And yeah, that's it. So I will just continue to do what I'm already doing. Perhaps I will show more like older games that I like in a gameplay. You can also recommend me some games in the comments. Why not? And yeah, that's it so far. So please, for the upcoming weeks, if you have an idea of surveys, write it in the comments below. And let's check out the releases. As always on Meta, you get MetaQuest platform, you get 10% off using my coupon code voodoo.de. This also counts for the Upload VR Showcase games that were released or will be released on MetaQuest. Always use my coupon code. We have Downtown Club. It has really good reviews. It's a racing simulation. And then we have Color a Cube. We talked about this already. And that's a really relaxing color game on MetaQuest. And then Beast Arms is a shooter party game, really colorful. And then we have on Steam VR, we have Cinescape VR. This is a virtual reality escape room game. And that's already it. There's nothing new on the PlayStation VR 2. And that's it for this week. So guys, and before we start the cool sales, just one hint. If you can support me a little bit, I would really appreciate this, because you can imagine that in the current bad VR times, I'm also struggling a little bit. Everything is brutal expensive and every dollar counts. So please, if you want to support me, $1 or even more, go to my YouTube channel page and click on join. You get really nice perks like behind the scenes video, early access to my videos, and even in the higher tiers you get merch and things. Just check it out. Click on join here. There's also a link in the description and in the pinned comment. I would really appreciate that. So the sales, there's a really nice new Humble Bundle related to the Upload VR Showcase. If you pay €18.55, you get amazing games like the VTOL VR, the Fight Jet Simulator, then Zero Caliber 2, Metro Awakening, Thief VR, Tactical Assault, Ancient Dungeon, Arizona Sunshine Remake even, Among Us 3D VR, and Zero Caliber 1. Brutal, amazing games. Every single of that is really good. So this is a must-have. This is a must-have. So I will put the link in the description on my homepage, guys. There you find the link directly to all the current sales. So make sure to check that out. Then on MetaQuest, we have Organ Quarter. This is a really nice horror game for $15.99. And on Steam VR, we have Focus on You. If you want a virtual girlfriend, you can have it right now for 80% off. And then the 7th Guest VR has a test version right now. It's for free. You can try the game out. This is also really nice. And yeah, that's it. So guys, check out link in the description for YouTube membership. Also check out the links to all the articles that I showed you, and also write in the comments if you want to see a new cool survey. Also don't forget thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, and see you next time in virtual reality. See ya!
voodoo.de